What's up, everybody? Sega Man back here with another video. Today's video is about the Sega Nomad, their first portable Sega Genesis. Now, you don't really hear about this system that much anymore. They're very hard to find out in the wild, and the only way you're going to get one actually is probably online. Now, this was their first attempt for a handheld, and if you notice, the way that the system was made was pretty odd. One side of it is rounded, and the other side is square. So where you turn it on at is like a rounded area at the top, and then the cartridges go up in the top. And then on the other side, where the 6 buttons are, is square, and it's kind of slanted, which is pretty cool. I kind of like it. Sega, to be honest with you, pushed the boundaries of trying to make their systems and games totally different from the competition. And I gotta, my hat's off to the old Sega. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with Sega today, but the old Sega, they just pushed the limits when it came to hardware and when it came to their games that were on the system. Now, this is a very retro, very classic handheld Sega Nomad. I did a video, I believe, on the Sega 3, which is a very small system that can actually fit in a pocket. You know what I mean? But the Nomad is a very sought-after handheld system. And it did come, I believe, with a battery pack. Now, I don't have that, but I have where you can plug it in and play it. You know what I mean? Yes, it's bulky, and, you know, it's not something that you probably won't want to walk out on the street and play. You know, back in the day, there's people that did do that. And I mean, they would throw it in their backpack, you know what I mean, after they were done playing. Or you can take it outside, which is cool, and play it outside, plug it in, like if you're out in your backyard just chilling, plug it in and play some Sega Genesis, you know what I mean? Or if you're on vacation, you know what I mean, and you want to take a little handheld system with you, old school retro system, you could take the Nomad with you. Now this, portable system, when I picked it up, was fairly cheap, but now I've seen it gone for over $180 to $200 on some sites. You know what I mean? And one time I did actually see this in my exchange about 4 or 5 years ago. It was $100, but which I guess isn't bad. You know what I mean? But it had the screen was pretty decent for its time. Almost every Genesis game works in here, in this little Nomad system. And just back then, I was just collecting so much for Sega that I had to pick us up at my local Babbage's. You know what I mean? And my one friend, my friend, he always talks about systems he wants to pick up. And he's like, "Yeah, Sega, man, I didn't know you had a Nomad, a Sega Nomad." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's, I have one. I still play it every once in a while. You know what I mean? I'll plug it in and play it to make sure everything's good and it's still in good working condition." But there's another little small handheld that came out made by RetroGen, and it's a Retrobit called the RetroGen, and it's a handheld smaller version of a Sega Genesis. And one day I'll do a video on that and show you the box art and the little system, way smaller than this. And that one you can actually fit in your coat pocket. It's really cool. It's like the size of the cartridge itself, the system almost. And you will see in a later video that I do. But I wanted some of you younger brothers out there, gaming brothers, if you want to get some gaming knowledge on Sega and their systems back in the day when you probably wasn't even born yet. But this is their first attempt to have a handheld Sega Genesis. And it's pretty cool. Like I said, it's a little bulky, you know what I mean? But this was, people didn't know how to take this system, back when it came out. Some people, latched onto it and picked it up. And some people were like, I'll pass. But as a collector, I try to find everything that pertains to Sega. And the Nomad is very glad to have it in my home. and in my Sega Genesis collection, in my Sega collection period. You know what I mean? But if you guys ever see one of these out in the wild and they're in working order, you know, try them out, make sure they work, and pick them up. You know, you can still fairly get single cartridge games cheap out there, like at Lukey Games, a nice gaming site that I get a lot of games at, called Lukey Games. Check them out. You can find a lot of Genesis cartridges pretty cheap on there, from $5 to $10, all the way up to over $100. And if you get $26 worth of merchandise there, it's free shipping. So I want to do a quick video, guys, and show you the Sega Nomad. There's not really to see at the back of the system, but I'll show it to you. Back there, except for where the battery port goes. The battery, as you can see, would plug in right there and goes into the back of the system. Now, of course, there's also the serial number. And then there's the top there that you put the cartridge in. And then the on and off button right there. And then this part right here actually is a A&V out, where you can hook it through your and put it through your TV and play it. Your actual TV set, which was really cool. Now, one system I don't own that I would like to own someday is the Turbo Express. Now, I don't own that. I do have the TurboGrafx 16, but that's even way more expensive. Astronomical price for that little handheld. The TurboGrafx Express. Victor Lucas from Electronics Playground, I believe he still has one, and he was talking about it on one of his videos that I watched a few days ago. But the Sega Nomad is near and dear to my heart. I still love this system today, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit of vintage today when it comes to handhelds. And this was one of the first to actually have it. I don't believe, actually, Sega Genesis had a handheld, and the Super Nintendo didn't back in the day. So I think it's safe to say that the TurboGrafx 16 and the Sega Genesis were the first to have their own handheld for their system. And then came the Superboy. Now, I'll do a video on that soon. That's a handheld Super NES, and I'll show you what that looks like. And I also have a handheld NES with a screen on it and that you can play. Made by another one, I think it was Retrobit, again. Or it might be another one. It might be another company, but they also did one. So I will show you a video on that soon. So you guys take care. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know the picture quality goes in and out. I believe it's because of my lighting. But I just wanted to show you a glimpse of the Sega Nomad, and tell you a little bit about it, my experiences I've had with it. So you guys take care. Keep gaming and stay safe. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate everybody here out there that subscribes to me and gives me comments in the comment section below, positive comments about my videos. Anything negative, I just totally block you and erase your comment, just to let you know, because this is all about positive gaming and things that have to do with retro gaming and other games and other gaming in general. And I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Asian Sleepy. Check out his channel. Check out Hebot 100, New Legal, Ghost Rider, Randy, another cool dude that does his own little thing on his videos. Check him out. Check out GWG, Grown Women Gaming. They do a nice little show they have. They do about current events in gaming. And just thank you very much for subscribing, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm very humble to have all the subscribers that I have. And I respect you guys. And I'm so glad that you chose my channel to watch about retro gaming. So you guys take care. Peace and love. Xbox for life. Later.